Artest looking, gets it to Bryant. Bryant dribbling, has to put it up with the buzzer. Banks it in! He banks in the three! And the Lakers win the game!
Good morning, Syndicate members. What is up? It's Wednesday. It's 9 a.m. You know what that means, that we are live right here in Austin, Texas at Syndicate headquarters for Winning on Wednesday. My name is Tony Merwin. That is Joe Campert, the king of trucking, the king of Facebook groups, and we have a stellar show lined up for you today. Get excited, man. We got a smoking hot guest. Can't wait to get him on.
Let's go. Let's go. Good morning, Syndicate members. What's up, Mr. Brian Moore? I appreciate you, brother, as always, man. Shoot me that email, too. We still need to catch up. But I appreciate everybody tuning in. As always, we are here for the weekly Winning on Wednesday call. First and foremost, actually, I have two shout-outs today. So first and foremost, obviously, Viva Virtual Solutions. You guys can see here, they are the main sponsor of Winning on Wednesday. We really appreciate everything that they do, not only for the show, for the group. Shout out to Lily, who is our producer, but also shout out to Rob Lopez. And just everything that they're doing at Viva. If you are in search of a virtual assistant company, definitely check out Viva. We have, I know us speaking, just for Redwood and Clarity, we have a team of, I think, 7 virtual assistants through them, whether that's service work, whether that's specializations through payroll and commissions, whether that's handling the phone lines, you name it, they can do it. So shout out to Viva. We appreciate you guys as always. But then number two, shout out to freaking Alexander Sala, dude, for winning the. If you guys didn't see, I'm going to go ahead. Well, I guess if they didn't see the finale, but
Spoiler
who cares,
alert,
man?
Spoiler
shout
alert.
out. Hey, shout out to my boy. They posted it enough on Facebook, but shout out to Alex. If you guys have not checked it out, the Ultimate Agent Tour through Cody Askins, it's season 2. And Alex, and it was a hard fought battle. I know it was him, Colin, and Adam in the final 3 there, and Alex was able to pull it out and bring home the W. So shout out to you. Shout out to the rest of the Friday Fuel guys.
Blood,
we appreciate
sweat,
y'all.
And tears in that last episode, man. Everything was there. They put it all on the table. It was the last 2 episodes were phenomenal. They were easily the 2 best episodes of the entire series. But yes, congratulations, Alex. Definitely. And I knew you had it from day one. Like, my money was on you the whole time. You were my horse. So congratulations. But yes, and certainly congratulations to everybody that competed. You guys all did a phenomenal job. But the dude wrote he wrote over $8,000 on the last day.
I think he did. It was over 20,000 on the week, and he was
Something
19
like
at the time.
Yeah.
Door knocking, which is
he wrote more
just
premium
nasty.
than he is old.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. That's a good one. We have to get him like a poster or something saying that. But that's good stuff. Well, hey, everybody, again, we appreciate you. If you haven't already, I'm pretty sure we're seeing everybody get on the show. Make sure and click the link in the description to let StreamYard view your Facebook comments. Sometimes you have to refresh that just so we can get you up on the show. And we're getting into weekly wins here. Tony, go ahead and kick us off. But guys, make sure, drop them in the comments. We'd love to celebrate you and what your weekly win is as well. But Mr. Merwin, what you got, man? What's a weekly win for you?
I've got a couple as well, but I'm actually only going to lead with one, and it happened this morning. And it's called stepping out of your comfort zone a little bit. So I finished my workout, got back to the house for a second, and was scrolling through Facebook a little bit, and I got impulsed by an ad from Grant Cardone on the Great American Speak contest or something to that effect. Not exactly sure what it is. But my audition is January 20th. I am now signed up, registered, and I will be a participant in the 10X Great American Speak Off contest. So
hell yeah, dude.
I get 1 minute audition. on January 20th, we'll see how it goes. Wish me luck.
Hell yeah. What are you going to do? What do you think
I
you're going
have
to do for a minute?
no earthly idea
A minute,
yet.
a minute,
No,
a
I have a
minute is
couple.
pretty
Actually, I have a
short.
couple of ideas, but not sure. So part of the deal was I get a short coaching session with one of their speaking trainers to kind of help prepare me for my audition. And then other than that, like the minute's on me, man. And they're expecting, or at least they said, that we only have room for 700 auditions per city. I don't know how many cities that they're going to, but they're apparently looking for 700 people from Austin to audition. So it's going to be a long shot regardless. I'm confident that I should at least get through round 1, and then we'll see where it goes from there. And then what they end up doing is they take the 3 finalists, they put them on stage at 10X, and they all get 3 minutes. So
that'd be sick.
And then my lock-in on the registration gave me the ability to see those 3 finalists from last year and look at their 3-minute video to kind of give me an idea of what they're doing and kind of the content. Yeah. So I'm excited about it. Looking forward to it. I just got to put together my message and make a 1-minute version, and I think a 1-minute, a 2-minute, and a 3-minute version of it.
Love it, man. Kudos to you, dude. Good for you. Way to step out of your comfort zone, man. I think that's part of my weekly win as well. Because I swear every time I get on a call with these guys, man, I just get uncomfortable, which is, I guess, why I just keep getting back with them. But my weekly win, and it's part of what the Extreme Revolution is. You guys have seen me talk about it and post about it. I've been working out every single day. It's day 10, have not missed a day, eating healthy, reading. This has actually been, for anybody, it's definitely more on the property and casualty side. Easier read, very practical, but really, really good. And so we had another meeting with my team this morning and just implementing some things and kind of just fine tuning what we're doing. Right. But it's called the Extreme Revolution. And so the book is just a piece of it, but we had our first call with, and it was actually Andy Elliott. For those that don't know, he was stuck on the plane or whatever. So he had his guy, Ian, hop on the call, which I actually got to meet Ian at that event that I went to last month out in the Lions Den in Arizona. I mean, they're all just freaking hype beasts, man, and they're animals, and I love it. But man, you get uncomfortable when you're on a Zoom, and I mean, they had their cameras on, and you could unmute yourself and stuff. So it's like you always kind of have that shit, like if they're gonna call on me type thing. But I love it because it really keeps me on my toes. But I wanted to share just a few things and really, so many freaking notes from it, a bunch of chicken scratch too, because he was going quick. But I wanted to share a few of those things that I really took away from it. And I'll just kind of go through it real quick because, guys, we've got an amazing guest. We'll get him on here. I know he's going to drop some gold for everybody when it comes to scaling and marketing. So first thing first is never play the victim. Never play the victim. And that goes in business and in life, right? Your habits equal who you are. Your habits equal who you are. Decide to change today. Right, you guys have been hearing me kind of saying that more now recently is, hey, now is the time because time has us, right? So we make the decision to change today. The power of proximity matters. I really like that one, right? We talk a lot about networking and getting around people and your tribe and who you surround yourself with. So the power of proximity matters. Audit things that will not serve you in 2024. I know that we've been talking a lot about this here in office, Tony, but just really going through audit the things that are not going to serve you in 2024. Crave the result of positive change. And then I'll end with this one because this is the one that just it gets everybody, dude. And I love just how raw they are on the calls too, because they just don't give a shit. But it says, he goes, stop giving yourself a fucking way out. Stop giving yourself a fucking way out, man, and just really deciding to change. And a lot of it was a lot of mentality, and kind of not as much sales on this initial call. But then we've got a bunch of sales training, marketing, scripts, all this stuff that we've got leading up until the end of April, because then if we actually complete the 100 days in a row, we have another event out in Arizona at the Lions Den. So those are just a few takeaways, but man, it was awesome. I was here in the office until 8:30 last night, just even talking. Amar's doing it with me. So just sitting there talking with him, going through our notes, and just really, really good day in the office, but love wrapping it up with that energy and just kind of that, let's freaking go. Right.
That's powerful stuff, dude. Just that one statement, audit the things that will not serve you in 2024.
Yep.
That's a hard thing for most people to do. Is to actually do that personal inventory and then look and go, this is something that I do. This is a trait of mine, or this is an activity or a concept or something, and then I have to realize that takes gross honesty. That is hard for a lot of people. We could do a whole episode just talking about that one little item.
Well, that or really, and we'll end on this and then bring the guest on. But that or it's people audit themselves. I mean, it's the new year, right? So new year, new me. They'll audit for maybe a month or two, maybe 3 months, hell, maybe even 6 months. But then 6 months in, it's like, and we're back, right? So just being consistent with that. But with that being said, y'all, we're super excited for our guest. It was kind of last minute, but I love people that when I can ask them last minute and they show up, because it just says a lot about them, and really says a lot about this community, right? And people wanting to pour into you guys. And so without further ado, everybody give a nice warm welcome to my man, Mr. Nato Guajardo. What's going on, brother?
Hey, what's going on, bro?
Looking good, man. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely. Where are you located again? You're out in Houston, right?
I'm in Houston, yeah.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen you around a little bit, right? The insurance industry. Obviously, you have a big personality on Facebook. I see you there. Got a bunch of people following you, and I've seen you at a couple of events here and there. We've never had a chance to really interface too much, but take a moment, if you don't mind, and just let our viewers know, like, who is Nato Guajardo? Like, what are you up to? What are you about? And kind of what are you doing?
Yeah, sure. I don't know how far you want me to go, but yeah, you probably won't see me at events that often. I'm actually like an introvert, really. I'm only an extrovert when I have to be. And in business, I mean, you have to be, right? You have to show people who you are and things like that. But my name is Nato, and I was born and raised in Houston, Texas. I was in the military for about 8 years. You may take it that far?
Sure.
Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
I'm not gonna take it that far. I want to give you the viewers value and just the important thing. So military 8 years, and I was a late starter in business. I wasn't like Joe. Joe probably had a business at like 9 years old or whatever. But I had a business like really, really late in life. And how I got there was I was really in IT when I got out the military. I thought that's what I was going to do. I was going to do IT, and I got out when it was, and I'm an older guy, so I got out when it was after 9/11, and I thought I was going to get a 6-figure job in IT when I got out. Well, what happened was when I got to Houston, the Enron thing happened, and I was instead of getting a 6-figure job, I was fighting for a $10 to $12 an hour job with guys that were already making 6 figures. So they were choosing those guys before me. So the IT thing was really, really tough. And things really didn't change until probably in my mid 30s. So I was really the type of guy just to cruise through life. And the big change in my life was when I got a divorce, and that's when my self-improvement really started. I started reading books. Sometimes, man, you got to hit rock bottom before you really know yourself and know what you're capable of. And that was my rock bottom at the time, and that's what started my self-improvement. Self-improvement brought me to sales. I don't know what it is about self-improvement and sales that go hand in hand. And then sales got me to insurance. Literally, my buddy sent me his bonus check in insurance, and it was kind of like that movie Wolf of Wall Street. Like, hey, look at my bonus. Come work for me.
I'll quit my job right now. Right.
You show me a check for $70,000. I work for you right now.
That's right. It was kind of like that. And I literally applied that night, and I was an insurance agent a month later, working for a really big corporation where you're just really a sales. I mean, I'll say what it is, Liberty Mutual, where you're really like a sales guy. Really good training program, not the greatest marketing program, but a really good training program for insurance agents. And that's how I started my career. And then another thing happened. I got fired from Liberty Mutual. They were doing cuts. And by the way, I was mediocre at Liberty Mutual. Our office had a whole bunch of killers, and a lot of people probably know these guys. Mediocre, got fired. My wife actually worked in the same office as me. And I told my wife, well, she asked me, what are you going to do? I guess I'm going to start an insurance agency. And remember, I'm a mediocre sales guy, and I'm telling her I'm going to start my own insurance agency. But that's what I did. I started my own agency. I literally had to use all my 401k because a week before I got fired, I had actually taking money from my 401k to buy an engagement ring for my wife that I was going to marry. So I used my 401k and then got fired a week later. So that's how things happen sometimes, and that's how I started the insurance agency. And I mean, we can talk further about it, but
we will.
One thing about when I started my insurance agency is, when you first start in insurance or any business, you go in, with your natural market, right? So what happens after you exhaust that? I mean, that's where I was stuck after about a month. Like, who am I going to quote? And I realized that when I was at Liberty Mutual, one of the things that we did was we used to buy a lot of leads. And I'm like, well, I can start buying leads again. That's one thing I can do. But the thing about buying leads is, one thing is, I hated fighting other agents for that lead.
Right.
I hated being reliant on somebody bringing me a lead. So I made the decision, like, you know what? I don't want to I don't want to rely on anybody. I want to do this myself. So I went on a journey, and I knew it was going to cost me some time. I just went on a journey and learning how to just generate my own leads. And because I just didn't want to rely on anybody anymore. I didn't want to rely on anybody for leads. I didn't want to rely on anybody for literally anything. And that really started my journey on how to generate my own leads, not only organically, but also paid. And we can talk about that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm got one quick question kind of right off the bat. What do you think it was that made you a mediocre salesperson at Liberty Mutual? Was it just a lack of skills? Was it lack of work ethic? Lack of desire, maybe?
I don't think it was lack of work ethic, because I literally would come in earlier than everybody and leave later than everybody. So I believe it was probably lack of skill in the beginning, because remember, I had just started sales probably a year or two prior to that.
Mm-hmm.
Second, I just started insurance, and it was hard because the guys in there were so good, and I'm coming in there and I'm like, not knowing the insurance space. I've just have maybe 2 years of sales experience. But yeah, I don't think it was a lack of, because dude, I was reading, I was really applying. I don't know. I don't know what it was, to be honest with you, Tony. But I know one thing, things changed once I got fired from that job. Things really, really changed. And I did a 180 after that. And I think it was because I had to survive. I had no other choice, honestly.
Back was against the wall, right?
Yeah.
Yep. I love that. That's literally, it's something, that was one of the notes that we took last night, was like a zero option mentality, man. Like when you're back, so you have no other options other than to freaking succeed, man. And sometimes that breaks people, right? But then other times, you're right, it's like pressure makes diamonds. I love hearing that. And we'll kind of come back to that too, because I still think there's a little bit more like, what was that real, like, okay, I'm mediocre. Like, man, I'm not as good as these guys, but man, like, F it, dude, I'm starting my own freaking agency. And I think that takes a lot of confidence, but it also takes courage as well, right? Because it's kind of like, shit, I hope this thing works, right? I remember when we started Redwood, my day one guy, he's our service manager now, runs our virtual assistants. I was like, man, he was working at Enterprise. I said, you work like that in insurance, dude, you'll freaking kill it, dude. I was like, you come work with us, man. And then he calls me like 2 weeks later. He's like, yo, is that still a thing? Because I just put in my 2 weeks and I'm getting ready to move to Texas. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, I don't have a house yet. We don't have an office. Like we were talking yesterday. It's like, dude, we were bootstrapping it, right? So it does take a lot of that. So I guess you said something too. Self-improvement typically leads to sales, right? And I think it's because sales is just, it can be hard, man. And I think a lot of it is the cyclicalness, if that's the correct word, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, man, you can be super up, and then you can be super down, right? So I think that's where self-improvement kind of makes its way in there. But I go one level further, right? Which is kind of where we can start to kind of hash out some of the things that you did. I would like to know, really, like, when you're saying that you were teaching yourself how to do your own lead gen, like how you actually source that information. Was it trial and error or whatever? But I think self-improvement is paired with sales, and then so is freaking marketing, man. Marketing is actually, in my opinion, it's more important than anybody. I think can learn a script and everything over time and really rep that muscle. But if you got nobody to sell, doesn't really matter, right? And so I think marketing kind of goes hand in hand with that, which obviously, I guess, when did you figure that out? Literally within that first couple of months, or how long did, I guess, maybe talk about where did you get the idea to build the kind of the funnels and even the organic traffic or even the Facebook group, all those things? Where did you get that idea from? And then how long did it take to implement that? Because I think that's also important. A lot of agents don't implement things because they're like, well, Nato's already got 13,000 people in his group, right? Or the syndicate's already, man, I'll never catch up, right? And it's like, well, actually, sometimes it's just taking the action and implementing, and you will, right? So kind of talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So going back, I knew that people were generating leads because I was buying them, right, in the past. So there was these guys were generating these leads somehow. So what I did was I literally found out where the conferences that these guys were going to. I found out where they were going, and I started going there. I spent a good amount of my starting money, and I knew this was going to pay off if I got it right. And the thing about it is, when you first start a business, you want to start making sales right away. I sacrificed the first 3 to 6 months. I'm like, I know I'm not going to make any money for these 3 to 6 months because I need to figure this out first. Because if I don't figure this out, then where am I going to get, who am I going to quote? I've already exhausted my natural market. So I started going to the conferences where these guys went to. I started figuring out what courses they were taking. I started trying to figure out how they were doing this just by asking them questions. You'd be surprised, man. When you start asking people questions, they'll freely give you the information.
Right.
Like it's not, they'll give you the information. So it was a combination of asking these guys questions, going to the conferences, becoming friends with these guys that were actually generating the lead and selling it to these aggregators, right? And then also trial and error, trying different things. I first started generating leads on Google before I went on Facebook. What ended up happening was when I went to Google, and I had tried generating leads on Google before, and it was a lot less expensive. But now this is the year 2016, 2017. Google ads were very, very expensive. Like I believe if you look up Google ads, like insurance is like one of the top ones as far as like how expensive it is, right?
Absolutely.
So I tried Google first, and then I moved to Facebook. I don't know what made me change to Facebook. I think it's just a new platform. And there wasn't that many people advertising on Facebook back in 2017 for insurance. So the leads were a lot less expensive because there was less competition. So when I found out about this, I'm like, dude, I think I hit a gold mine because it is a lot less expensive to generate leads on Facebook than it is on Google right now. Which right now I still use Google, but I actually think Google is probably a better way to go now. But yeah, man, I mean, the combination of trial and error, and I knew I had to make this work, Joe, because if I didn't make this work, I knew I had to go get a job. And dude, that was the last thing I wanted to do because I got fired. I'm like, I'm going to do this. And to go back and go get a job is like the ultimate failure, bro.
Right. Talk about your marketing approach, right? Or the lead gen approach, because I think you do it differently. A lot of these, what we'll call a lead vendor, right? Typically they are generating a lead because somebody's clicking on an ad to buy life insurance, right? Or buy car insurance or whatever. And I think your approach and kind of how you built that and fully covered was, hey, we're not necessarily generating the lead directly for ourselves, right? You're doing it in a different way to provide value to somebody else. And in return, get a lead, which technically is more now a referral, which is probably going to convert higher anyways than it would be if they were just filling out a form on a Facebook ad. Talk a little bit about that approach. Did that come from, again, the mentor, right? Or because you were saying that they were generating leads for the aggregator. Where did your approach come from where it's like, dude, let's get in with these, mortgage loan officers and these real estate, and not just get in with one or two, get in with like, I mean, you own the town type shit, right? Where did that kind of approach and mentality come from?
Honestly, by accident, and I'll tell you what happened.
Perfect.
This is what happened. I when I was going through this process of learning how to generate my own leads, I had one mortgage guy sending me deals. One poor guy, right, sending me deals, and he was probably, I don't know, maybe sending me about 2 or 3, and I was so thankful for this guy sending me those deals because at least I was making a little bit of money in the process of learning lead gen. And I'm like, so I'm here trying to generate leads for myself, right? Home insurance leads, auto leads, things like that. And I'm like, maybe I can generate leads for him so his business can do better. And in return, if if he does better, he'll send me more deals, right? Really, I did it just to thank this guy. Like, thank you for helping me
love that.
during this time. Because I'm always the type is like, I really hate getting things for free. Like, really, I rather give somebody something first before I ask for something. It's just the way I've always been. And so I'm like, if I can help this guy, not only can I help him do better in business, but it will also help my business, right? So that's how I started. I'm like, let me see if I can generate leads for him. And you know what ended up happening? The leads for him were a lot less expensive. I'm talking about 1/10 the price of a lead for me. So, and not only that, when he closed the deal, he'd make thousands versus me. If I close the deal, I'm making hundreds, right?
Right.
So I'm like, this is a better approach. Let me get, and at one point I was generating so many leads for mortgage people. I'm like, why don't I just be a mortgage person instead? Because like these guys are making a lot more money than I am. So it was totally by accident. And so I got him working and he closed his first deal within 30 days on one of the leads. He's like, dude, I want more of those. I'm like, no problem. As long as you keep sending me the home insurance, I have no issues. Because obviously when you sell home insurance, you can cross sell auto and make more money that way, right? So I'm like, if I can do it for this guy, I can do it for other guys. So I went out and started calling mortgage people. Hey, do you want leads? And they'd be like, all right, well, how much is this going to cost me? I'm like, it's not going to cost you anything, man. I just want to give you leads. And if you convert some of these leads, just send me the home insurance. And by the way, not only do I want the ones I send you, I want all of your deals.
All.
That was my deal with them. That's all I want. I'm not going to charge you anything as long as you send me everything because I'm going to be sending you deals. And that's how I started, man. And after that, insurance agents caught wind of it and they start asking me, how are you doing this and things like that. So, yeah.
Dude, that's next level thinking for a strategic partnership. That's super, super savvy.
Well, it was
by accident or not, right? By accident or not, but I mean, you're aware enough to put together the pieces of what's happening and realize, like, hey, there's a lucrative way that I can generate business by generating this dude business. So you're providing value externally that directly ends up giving you value internally. Most agents would just be like, wow, mortgage broker leads are cheap, man. Maybe, and they probably would just go become a mortgage broker. Right. But you're like, no. There's an opportunity there that I can generate more home insurance business by getting value to these guys. And if I can do it for one guy, then I can do it for multiple guys. Pretty ingenious way to put that together.
That's my question. How do you scale that? What was, and I know obviously there's 1,000 things we could probably talk about on how to actually scale that whole thing, but let's even talk on before we even bring in the insurance agent side of things, right? Like, hey, I'm going out, like, how many mortgage brokers do you think you were generating leads for internal, like when you were first getting going? Like, what was the max number you thinking? Like, what was like the maybe one or two like pivot, like, man, without this, there was no way I was going to be it. Like, was it the CRM you were using? Was it like, how are you sending out the leads? Like, what were those things? Like, what did that process kind of look like as it started to grow?
Well, in the beginning, it was like just manually sending the leads, which was a pain, by the way. But now we have a lot of tools that we can use. I have my own software that I use now that I created. But here's the thing. This is really what grew my business exponentially, like, because I was able to get as many mortgage people as I can get leads for them, right? And at one point, I don't know, I think I had like 30, 40 mortgage people that I was working with. But here's the thing that ended up happening, man, is like I would start sending these guys leads. And at one point they got so busy, they're like, Nato, I really thank you for getting me the leads, but we're so busy right now, we don't even need them, but I will still send you all the business. So what I'm like, dude, I need to hit up more of these guys because eventually they don't even want my leads anymore.
Right, because they don't need them anymore. They can't handle them.
Yeah, they can't even handle it anymore. So that I just built that relationship with them by giving value first. And by doing that, I just gained their trust and they're going to send me their business anyway. As long as we took care of them on the service side, which is really important. This is one of the reasons why some of the people that follow my system have failed, is they didn't have that part figured out. Is like, dude, you also have to do your insurance job on top of that, right? Yes, you can send them all the leads you want, but if you can't close the deal and make them happy and be fast, give them fast quotes, because these mortgage people want these quotes really fast. right?
Right.
And so if you can't do that part of it, you're going to lose a relationship. Doesn't matter how many deals you give them, you're going to lose it. And that's happened before. So yeah, man, it came to a point where like I really didn't have any marketing budget because at one point the mortgage guys were paying for their own leads, and then the guys that didn't want to do it, they would send me business anyway, because of the relationship that I developed with them.
Love it.
What you had mentioned you had gone to some conferences to learn some skills of lead generation and marketing. If there's some other guys listening here, and I'm sure there are that are interested, like, man, I need to brush up on my skill set in lead gen and marketing. What are maybe a conference or two that you would recommend someone should definitely go and learn and network and plug into?
Honestly, the fastest way, let's just say you have limited amount of money. I don't even think you have to go to conferences anymore.
Okay.
Like if there's somebody out there that has limited budget, I would just go on YouTube and really, dude, YouTube, you can learn so many things. People are giving the game on YouTube.
Yeah,
And the reason why is because obviously they want to grow their channel. So a lot of times they're giving like a whole course away on a YouTube video. So if you don't have that much money, I would go on YouTube and learn. Pick a platform that you want to learn on. And there's two ways to generate leads online. One is paid traffic and one is organic. I think if you can master both, you'll never have issues with getting leads again. So you definitely want to
talk about the organic side. Because I know we kind of went straight to the more paid side of things. What were you doing on the organic side? Was it the same model of generating leads for the mortgage people, or was this was more kind of, hey, I'm trying to bring consumers direct to me? What did that organic side look like?
So here's the thing. Initially I didn't do anything organic because this paid stuff was working so well. But one of the things that I did that really helped out was, and I'll give you guys, anybody listening out there, a really, really inexpensive way to market yourself and brand yourself in your area. Well, first of all, by the way, everyone should be branding themselves now. I think the future is you are a business, right? Everyone's a business now. So you definitely need to start branding yourself. One of the easiest ways I did it, and you can do this for as little as like $5 a day through like Facebook, is I used to run a video just introducing myself and my team, my insurance team, and then to following up with videos on education, on insurance, or on helping mortgage people or whatever, right? Whoever your target market is. And I would just run that for $5 a day in my local area. So what ended up happening was like, I literally my neighbors would be like, man, I keep seeing your video on insurance. I'm like, all right, well, you keep seeing it. How about a quote, right?
Right.
Right. But you know what ended up happening? I started going to these mortgage people to tell them about our system. And they started recognizing me from those videos that I was running. And they're like, oh, I know, I've seen your videos before. It was a way easier introduction instead of being cold coming into a mortgage office and like they don't even know who you are.
Right.
And try to win them over. It was a lot easier if they saw me online. So
yeah.
As far as organic, I mean, now it's so much easier with like reels and things like that. Dude, you can start doing like 30-second, 1-minute videos on just educating people on insurance and just be really consistent with that. The combination of doing something like that and paid, and here's what you can do. If an organic video like hits, meaning like an organic video is getting a lot of exposure and a lot of comments, that might be a video that you want to run paid ads on. So that's where you can do a combination of both organic and paid.
Somebody starting like right now, like if you had to give them an action plan, like a, hey, new agent, right? Hey, let's go back to when Nato's starting his agency, right? And it's like, hey, don't spend the 3 to 6 months, bro, that it took me, or even, a year or maybe even longer to figure this shit out. Game plan. Hey, we do have a lot of new agents in here. And guys, I think this, regardless of us talking about property and casualty, or like the strategies still apply to both sides of things, right?
Oh, dude,
maybe not necessarily the mortgage referral side, but still like how you're branding. And I love that you said that. You are nobody does business with a company anymore, right? They do business with Joe or Tony or Nato. I love that you said that. So new agents starting out, action plan, like here's what you should do to start marketing, branding, and basically what we'll call creating awareness in your community, right, online or whatever, to drive business to your agency. What would that action plan be? Like brand new agent, like starter agent. Here you go, man. So at least just start here.
Yeah. If I was a new agent and I was just starting right now, and by the way, I'm actually going to be a new agent because I sold my agency a year ago and I'm going to get started again. So I'm going to be doing the same thing you guys are going to be doing here.
There you go.
So just follow me and do what I'm going to be doing. So what I would do, let's just say I'm a new agent, because when I was a new agent, I have limited money. My money from my 401k had to last me the whole year, which it didn't, by the way. It never does, bro. You always need more than what you think. What I would do is I would start doing organic videos like Reels, and I would choose a platform. And here's the thing about Reels. Reels, actually, you can, if you do one Reel, you can put them on multiple platforms. I would start doing 30-second, 1-minute videos. Go on YouTube, learn how to do that, right? Go on YouTube. That doesn't cost any money. And start putting those videos on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, about what you sell, and educate. I wouldn't even sell. I'll just educate at first, man, especially if you have a niche. I know, Joe,
Right.
and I just found this out, by the way, yesterday, that you're big into trucking. Start educating truckers on insurance, how it works, how to save money, how to do this.
Right.
And just keep talking about that. And then once you start getting business off that organic, maybe use some of those videos and use it as paid ads and push it more. Organic is only going to reach a certain amount. You got to think like one of these platforms, right? They make money off of ads. So when you do things organically, they're only going to give you a certain amount of reach. The only time you'll get a big exposure is when a platform is new. Like when TikTok was new, you could go on TikTok and reach a whole bunch of people because they were just getting started. Once the paid ads start coming in, your reach gets a lot smaller on the organic side. So now you have to pay to get more exposure.
Yep.
Right.
Right.
But you can still reach a couple people, man, organically. And so that's what I would do. And then convert some of those videos that are doing well into paid.
Got it. Love it. What would and I guess this is kind of goes with this. I always have this question too, and I'm not a paid guy. I've always been on the organic side. I'll pay for systems for us to have access to generate our organic, we'll call them organic leads, but I've never been a lead guy on the independent side. We were, when I was Allstate, that was, my Lord, the amount of money we would freaking spend on leads. It was absurd. I don't even like talking about the number we were spending per month. But on the independent side, I've always been organic. So talk about just even a budget. Like how much should somebody, in order for it to really be like worth the dollar, right? Like how much do you think, hey, we've got an organic post, right? Or something that's really popping. We're getting referrals from, or we're getting leads from it, comments, right? A lot of views, we'll call it viral, right? What would be a daily budget, a weekly budget that you would recommend to somebody? Because that's always a question. I'm like, I don't know, shit. Should I throw like $20 or $25 at this, right? Or should I throw $100 at it? What would you suggest on that?
I mean, I would just say start with what you have. Whatever your marketing budget is, and you should have some kind of marketing budget, right? I started with $5 a day to get reach in my area. You might need a little bit more now because it got a little bit more expensive. So maybe $10 a day. If you really want to get going, I would probably $1,000 a month is really where you start taking off. Which is about $20 to $30 a day on ads. But dude, you can start with $5 a day and then just keep building on top of that. As you make more money, keep upping your marketing budget and keep track of that and just tweak it as you go. You can be with that, hitting your local market and just people. I saw someone in the comments like saying, I see you everywhere. That's exactly what ended up happening with me. Is like, dude, I keep seeing they call them commercials, but they're just Facebook ads. And then and here's the thing. I think there was a study, like it takes seven times for somebody to see something for them to do business with you. They got to keep seeing you, man, because they don't trust you the first time. Like, who's this guy, Joe? Who's Joe? Like, I don't know who he is. But if they keep seeing you and you keep educating them and you keep giving them value, that, dude, you're forcing them to do business with you. You know?
Right.
On Do you have any feedback on maybe where the best place to take them to convert after seeing your video ad? Right? Were you creating video ads to get people to call you? Or are you creating video ads that goes to a landing page, conversion form somewhere? Just if you had any feedback on maybe where you've experienced some of the best conversions for people that are seeing your ad.
So I give them all the options because everybody likes to do business different ways. Like most people like to do business nowadays through like text. They don't really like to call, but I give them all three options. Send them to like a landing page that has your phone number, that has a form that they can put the information in, and then after that you can start texting them or calling them, however you want. And that way you hit all three, right? You hit up the phone, you hit up email, and you also hit up texting. So definitely a landing page. If you guys don't know what landing page is, it's just a one-page website that has the information where they can input it with all that stuff. So
This is an argument that I see bounced back between people that run at Facebook ads: landing page versus Facebook Instaform. Like, what's your thoughts on that? Because I do ads on Facebook and we do pretty well with them, and I've designed what I felt like were phenomenal landing pages. Like, I studied it, I looked it up, I found who was using landing pages that were converting and they were working, and I modeled mine exactly like theirs. Shit conversions compared to just using the most basic Facebook Instaform. Now, granted, my intent went down a little bit on the Facebook Instaform leads versus the landing page one, but the volume well made up for it. So I'm just kind of curious, what's your argument there, and maybe why should I use a landing page versus an Instaform?
Yeah. So a lot of times it's like quality versus quantity, but here's the thing. Sometimes you'll copy someone's exact funnel, landing page, and everything, and it will not convert for you. A lot of times the reason it doesn't convert for you is because you're not the person that, for example, like Tony, like let's just say you're a person that provides a lot of value, you do a lot of videos, they've already got accustomed to you, versus me, nobody knows who I am, and I try to run the same funnel. I'm not going to get the same conversion as you because they know who you are. You have already established that relationship with them, and I'm here trying to copy your funnel. It's not going to work the same. So a lot of people will try to like copy a funnel, be like, well, it's not working like it does for you. But as far as what you're saying is, I would just test it, man. Sometimes the landing page might get lower, less people, but the quality is a lot higher.
Sure.
I've tested long form type of landing pages where it takes them to like maybe 10 or 15 questions. I found that to be better quality, but a lot less conversion.
Oh, absolutely.
But if you want quantity, the lead forms are fine.
Yeah.
I've read several ads on just lead forms, and it did really well.
Sure. Well, ultimately, what I want is a better CPA, a better cost per acquisition. Whether it doesn't matter to me where it comes from. Just how do I get the best CPA? You know,
well,
and so far it's just using Instaforms or even just Messenger. Like, I convert a lot of people right in Messenger.
Here's the thing, man. So what you're saying is somebody can get as many leads as you, but they're not good on follow-up as you are. So here's the thing. A lot of people think the leads are garbage, but really the person's garbage because the person's not following up. The person doesn't have a system or process. There is a big drop off on an internet lead after 1 to 5 minutes. If you do not respond to an internet lead within 5 minutes, dude, just forget about it because you're probably not going to convert them. It drops that much on an internet lead. So a lot of people will say the internet lead is trash. It's not that the internet lead is trash, is that you did not respond to that person in time and you did not follow up a certain amount of times to convert that lead. So a lot of times it's not the lead, man. It's really what happens after the lead.
Yeah.
Yep.
Makes sense.
We were just talking about that this morning, man. Literally, like what we had my little morning meeting with my guys on was about follow-up. And this guy, again, man, it's a really practical by Tim Gaspar, I guess. I did skip a chapter though. Hold on. You guys will think this is funny. This is total squirrel moment, but I skipped this chapter because I was reading. I was like, man, this is really good. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to skip that shit. Chapter 3. Dress the part, right? And it goes, when did the insurance bro style become a thing? I've been watching these insurance experts on YouTube sell other agents on how to be successful, and they're always wearing a backwards hat and a t-shirt. And I was just like, all right, I'm just going to go to chapter 4. But again, chapter 4 was talking about follow-up, right? And how, follow-up is, to me, that's somebody that's already expressed some type of interest, right? And a lot of the times, and I'll talk a little bit more on my trucking side of things. And especially if you're a trucking agent, a lot of these lists that we work are people that have applied for their Department of Transportation number that don't have insurance on file, right? But what happens is, hey, guess what? A shit ton of people call them day one when they apply, right? Because you're trying to catch them right out the gate to the point of where they'll literally turn that damn phone off on you, right? But then they go to the next list, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. Excuse me. Where I have my highest conversion is calling on people that maybe applied 30 to 60 days ago, right? Because one, everybody, the majority, sucks at calling people back, right? Maybe they called them 60 days ago, or maybe even last week, and then they'll never touch them again because it's that churn and burn style. Whereas I'll call these people because, hey, maybe they were just getting ahead of the curve. Hey, I'm going to go ahead and apply for this, right? But I don't have my truck yet, or I don't have my compliance manual in place, or my drug testing, or all the things that go into setting up a trucking operation. And it's so fun because nobody will ever call them back. All right, so that was our meeting, is that just it's somebody that they have said yes. And I was talking about my longest follow-up till I closed this guy. His name was Mike Jones, Mike and Nedra Jones, man.
Mike
like,
Jones.
who? Yeah, like who? It's like Mike Jones.
Yeah.
But it took me 3 years to close the dude. Literally 3 years. But every single time, and that's kind of what the book talks about, is that consistency builds that relationship with that client, almost to the point of where it might not even be the right time. And they're just gonna be like, dude, let me get freaking Nato. Like, okay, dude, what do you need, man? I got 5 minutes. Let's freaking make this shit happen because of how much you follow up with people. So I think that's super important, man. I love that. Or they got a bad agent to start with and they need to make a change. Good point, Todd.
Hey, by the way, real quick, man, real quick
Yep.
about dressing the part, bro. I wear t-shirts and joggers every day. And the thing is, like, I got to a point where I only want to attract the people that I want to work with.
Yes.
Right.
So I don't care, dude. I don't need to dress in a suit or whatever. I'll dress like this and I'll attract the people that are just like me. And I'm cool with that. Like, I don't need to. If you want to wear a suit, fine, man. That's cool. But I'm just not gonna wear it anymore. Unless it's like a wedding or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Even then, I still wear my Jordans to weddings.
You do? That's cool.
Yeah. I got my suit, but then hey, still got the J's on below, man.
Yeah.
Too many
you have
agents
anything,
miss
Tony?
that. Yeah, that's a perfect statement, because too many agents miss that. I think they feel like, oh no, I have to please everybody, right? I'm going after the 100% of the pie, 100% of the market. I don't care how good you are. You're never getting 100% of the marketplace. It's impossible. I mean, it's absolutely impossible. We're all looking for our percentage of the marketplace, and that percentage of the marketplace is going to vary based on a numerous number of factors and categories, such as I want to work with people that, number one, need my product, understand the value I provide, and they don't mind the fact that I wear a t-shirt and joggers, right? Or they don't care that I wear an Olajuwon jersey and Jordans, right? Or no, I want the guy that wears the suit. Well, that's just a different piece of the market. It's just a different your customer. So don't get yourself so tied up that you have to meet all the check boxes to try to get 100% of the marketplace. No. What is your 20, 30, 50% of the marketplace? And go after them and find the people that are in that group that want to do business with you. They want to be your friend. They believe you have value.
What's your Medicare stat, Tony? How much of the market do you have to own in order to make $1 million a year?
Yeah, you need 0.005% to make $1 million in the Medicare space. That's all. You need 5 1,000ths of 1%, and you'll make $1 million. So quit trying to go please everybody. Go please that 5 1,000ths of 1%, and you'll kill it in this industry.
I agree, man. It's a waste of time to try to convince somebody to like you that's never going to like you. Like,
correct.
I know there was a study that 25% of people are just not going to like you regardless of what you do. So why even try with those people? Like, why not go convince the 50% that is going to like you? Just convince those guys. And then you have the 25% you can sway either way. They might like you, they might not, depending on what you say or whatever. But 25%, man, are just not going to like you, bro. It's maybe how you look, because you wear a t-shirt, because you wear Jordans. They just are not going to like you.
Could be because you wear a suit. They're like, I'm not doing business with that dude that's stuck up, arrogant, thinks he's got a suit on. Fuck that guy. Man. I want the guy in t-shirt and Jordans.
We have to ask. I have to ask this, right? Because you started talking about this. I'm like, this is instantly where my brain went, though, right? It's like that, or it's maybe because you lit cash on fire and got into a Lamborghini, or remember that ad you used to run back in the day, Nato?
Yeah.
Dude, just share that real quick. Just talk about that real quick.
So that was my very first ad to attract insurance agents to get into my program. Like, what's the most obnoxious thing that I can do that I can get attention and get some of these people to say, hey, look at me, right? And I'm like, well, how about a Lambo? So we rented a Lambo. I ran a freaking ad on to attract insurance agents to my program. It was just to attract and get attention, honestly. Like, here's the thing, man. You're gonna have to get attention in order to get exposure and get leads. You're just gonna have to. Maybe you don't have to do it the way I did it. Maybe do it a different way, but you're gonna have to get attention. The person that's gonna make the most money is gonna be the one that can attract the most attention. I mean, and again, you're gonna get shit for it. You're going to, when you put yourself out there. And I think this is the number one reason why people do not make videos and do not brand themselves.
Yep.
It's because of the fear of what everybody's going to say. And here's the thing. The faster you get over that, the faster you're going to make more money. Because here's the thing. Those people don't even matter, bro. Like, they literally don't matter. They're the ones on the sidelines not doing shit with their life. And you're in the game. These guys out here that comment, and you'll realize the people that comment are usually not. You'll never see somebody higher than you, making more money than you, that will talk shit on you for what you're doing. I've never had anybody. I never had like Grant Cardone be like, bro, what are you doing? This is stupid. Like, that's not going to happen. It's going to be someone below you that's talking crap. And usually they're not doing anything anyway. So why even listen to these guys? So that is tough though. Right. To put yourself out there. And when I did it, oh my God, dude, I got so much stuff. And it did bother me at first. And now I don't even check comments. I don't even look at them. And I used to fight with these guys online. Like, it's worthless and pointless.
Yeah. Waste of time.
Yeah.
Go make another video.
Yeah, exactly, man. Just go make another video.
Go make a video talking about that video and about right. Yeah. Love it, man. Well, dude, so what's next? You kind of, you hinted at it earlier, right? But let's kind of wrap up and like, what's next for Nato, man? Like, I know obviously you've got some things going on the marketing side. You've got the agency on the horizon. Like, kind of share a little bit, like what's kind of next for you in 2024, man? Because it's already the 10th, right? It's
you said you're starting over, so.
Yeah. So about a year ago, I did sell my agency. Now a year of like, my wife had like all these vacations planned because I told her, I'm like, we're going to sell the agency. Go ahead and plan all the vacations you want for this year and we're done. And then we're going to start something new. My first initial goal was try to buy books of business. I couldn't find any. I'm still looking for some, by the way, if anybody's out there, especially in Texas, Houston, especially PNC. But looks like I'm going to be starting a new agency here soon. And this time I'm going to document everything from the start so people can see the struggles in the beginning.
Yes, it's good.
And I know you guys are going to be like, well, some people already know you in the area and things like that. That is true. But I'm literally starting from scratch because all my referral partners already went away. They're working with somebody else now. So, yeah, I think this time I'm going to document it because I think it's going to help more people out.
Absolutely.
By doing this. So I'll probably document it somehow, maybe on YouTube or something. But if you guys want to follow me, just go on my Instagram. It's just my name, Nato Guajardo. But yeah, man, I believe anybody can grow into a 7-figure agency and have your dream agency within, I don't know, even if it takes you 10 years, who cares, man? Because I really like insurance because of what it can do. Because once you get your agency going at a certain point, man, you can dive into other businesses. Once your insurance agency is running itself, you're making that money. You can go in, you can start going into other business. You can start investing in real estate, crypto, or whatever. I'm big on crypto, but we won't get into that. But you can invest in whatever you want, and you can start doing other things. You can start doing your passion stuff once you start getting your cash flow. I really realized how important cash flow was when I didn't have any for like a year. I really missed it. So I definitely want to get back into that, getting that cash flow going again. But yeah, man, I'm going to start over. I still have the program for insurance agents. So I think this is going to help insurance agents that don't have a lot of money that just will follow what I do while I grow the business and document everything. So
excellent, man. Awesome. I am looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
going to
man.
be good. I wasn't going to ask this, but I'm going to go ahead and backtrack and ask something.
Go ahead, bro.
It's a tad off topic, but you opened the show and you mentioned that after you did the military, you were doing IT, and you were like, I'm going to go kill it in IT now that I'm out of the military and make a bunch of money. That turned out to be facade. And you mentioned that you were divorced, and that was the start of your self-improvement journey. So something in that event kind of triggered you. Why do you think that is? What was I mean, I've been there. I went through a nasty divorce. This is my second wife and my second marriage that I'm on. And I remember what it did to me and kind of some of the fires and things that did to me. But I'm just kind of curious, like, what was it about that event that made you feel like, because you mentioned sometimes you got to be at rock bottom. So apparently you felt at that moment that you were at rock bottom. What made you want to turn it around?
Yeah, man, it was definitely rock bottom. Like, it was probably the heaviest I was. It was probably the least amount of money I had. And then just things started like snowballing negatively for me. And a lot of things is myself, because I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. Because when things go bad, you start getting into like bad behaviors and it gets even worse, right? So rock bottom for me was like literally not having money to even take my daughter to go eat, right? And I'm like, something's got to change. And literally that was probably the turning point when I literally didn't. I had to either decide, am I going to eat today or am I going to put gas in my car? Because I was the type of guy, and I don't know if anybody's been through this, where I had to sometimes decide. Like, I used to bring my in my account, I already knew I only had a certain amount of money. I would bring it down to like $5, fill up my gas tank all the way. I knew I was going to get an overdraft charge, but I didn't care as long as I had gas for the week to go into work so I can make some money.
I've done that.
Yeah, you
I've
had to
done
drive
that.
to
You have a
work
little bit
so you
so
could
it
make
doesn't
money to pay the
decline.
overdraft fee.
Yeah. So I was running that game for a while, man. And I'm like, it got to a point where like I just didn't have even money to take my daughter to McDonald's. And I'm like, something's got to change. And it started by just like reading books. From reading books, it started by doing other things like journaling, visualization, all that other stuff. But that doesn't matter if you don't put that action into place. You can visualize all you want on the couch, but if you don't put it into action, nothing's going to happen. And this is what ends up happening also, is that once you start fulfilling the promises that you make to yourself, your confidence starts going higher. I don't know if you ever maybe not been depressed, but you've been down on yourself. I guarantee you a lot of times it's because you made a promise to yourself and you didn't fulfill it. You're like, and that's when you get negative thoughts in your head, is when you say, I'm going to go work out, and you don't, you feel like crap, dude. Like, because you did not
lied to
fulfill that.
yourself.
You lied to yourself. And that's the worst thing you can do, is you didn't do what you said you were going to do. And that's crazy, because I just came off a 72-hour fast, and like, I realized like how strong you have to be not to eat for like 3 days. It's like really hard. But you have to do hard stuff, and then things become easier. Once you start doing hard stuff on yourself, like, the world becomes a lot easier. So damn, I don't know where I'm going with this, but to answer your question, man, like, I just had to, dude. I had to make a change, and I'm glad I did. And hopefully nobody is going through this right now, but you can definitely pick yourself up. It might take you a little bit, but I guarantee you, if you do the work, you will get to that end goal. And just start doing the things that you promise yourself, and your confidence start going up. When your confidence starts going up, like-minded people you start attracting those like-minded people. And you said something about the power of proximity, bro. It's powerful. 10 years ago, I didn't know one business person, not one business person. Now, for whatever reason, all my friends are business owners. And it's just not, I'm not like, hey, are you a business owner? We can be friends. It doesn't happen that way. It's just that's the people that I've attracted, right? That's the people that I attracted. And it's crazy, man. That's how it works.
Yeah, that's great. Does your daughter remember those days that you couldn't afford to take her to McDonald's? I don't know how old she was then.
I have an older daughter. She's 24 now, and she was probably 4. I mean, she was young at the
Okay.
time. She didn't know anything. She
Right.
she didn't know what was going on. But I think she saw a video of me like talking about it, and she mentioned like I didn't know that was going on. And but yeah, man, I'm glad I made the change because now I have a younger son, and he's never gonna see anything like that.
Right.
But I am going to teach them to do hard things, because if you do hard things, the life gets easier.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
I
Well, dude,
think,
this
well, I
has
think
been
real quick
fantastic.
on that,
Go
real
ahead.
quick on that, just to kind of to wrap that up. Justin Brock talks about this a lot. Is sometimes it's those little things, right? It's that little promise to yourself that, hey, maybe it isn't like 100 days in a row of hitting the gym, right? That's something for me that I needed to do for myself, right? And like, but it could be, hey, man, let me just start trying to get to the gym. Maybe it's freaking once a week, right? But a lot of little things stacked up, right, amount to something big, right? And Justin talks about it a lot, but I think that's a perfect example of that, man. Sometimes it just takes like that small little tweak to your diet, right? Or that small little tweak to your script, or that small little tweak, or maybe I'm coming in the office a little bit early and I'm leaving a little bit later, right? And those small things really just add up, and they are confidence boosters, to your
Absolutely.
point. So
Little things
love
lead
it,
to
man.
big
Good
things.
stuff.
Awesome, man. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for coming on, dude. I truly appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for asking that question, by the way, Tony, because I think some of the people out here will resonate with that and been through something like that.
Oh, absolutely, man. I mean, I've gone through similar, and I can pretty much guarantee you the majority of our audience has. Everybody, pretty much, I would think everybody in life, at least, it's to some level of capacity, has gone through some major challenge in their life. If they haven't, well, maybe it's still coming for them. But, you know, but thank you.
Right.
That's definitely valuable, and certainly phenomenal show. A lot of great stuff in there. This is going to be a good show that's going to get rewatched over and over and over. There's some content or nuggets that I picked out of it, especially regarding the marketing stuff. So thank you again for coming on, and
Absolutely.
hopefully we can get you on here again soon for part 2, maybe.
Yeah, anytime, man. Thank you.
Right on. Well, certainly best of luck in your new venture. I'm sure you're going to kill it. No
Yeah.
doubts. I'm looking forward to see the documentation of it. And as always, man, thank you guys for tuning in. We are here every Wednesday. We do it live. That's how it rolls. And if you're not following our content live and you want to see the recorded versions, go over to YouTube, hit the subscribe button, and then boom, you can watch all of our stuff. We got Monday Mindset, Tuesday Training, Winning on Wednesday. We got the Secret Handshake that's out there doing something secretive. And then we got Friday Fuel and Saturday morning cartoons. We do them all live 9 a.m. and then we push them out to YouTube for you. And then we are on Instagram and Syndicate if you like the bite-sized chunks better. Instagram is what I meant to say. So thank you again for tuning in. We'll see y'all next week.
We appreciate you guys. Hey, the number one thing, right, that I got from this is, well, really, it's not the number one thing, but it is like really big for y'all. Give before you ask. Okay, y'all, get out there, right? Go implement some change. Let's grow your businesses, right? But ultimately, give before you freaking ask, right? We appreciate y'all. Have an amazing rest of your Wednesday and kill the week. See you guys.